Welcome to another episode of Is It Debatable NBA Edition. I'm your host, Justin Jones, here with co-host Jalen Green, co-host Sebastian Pluvios. Before we get into any of the madness, I have to ask, how y'all doing?
Feeling good.
Yeah, I'm Gucci.
All right, so we can just dive right into the bullshit. James Harden. We all seen what has been going on with him this entire offseason. Requested a trade, called Darryl Morey a liar, this, that, and the third. Did report the training camp, though. He did look in shape. I will say that. But before we, dive into what's going to happen next, I wanted to just, talk about everything that happened since, being traded from Oklahoma to Houston, up until now. So just bear with me. So he was traded from the Thunder to the Rockets after it was reported he was offered a 4-year, $55.5 million extension, rejected it, gets to Houston, and days later under Darryl Morey does get a 5-year, $80 million extension.
Should have paid that man. Okay. Sam Presti, we should have paid that man.
No, okay, but they wanted to run more with Serge Ibaka. And
fuck Serge Ibaka.
No. I'm just saying that's what happened. But, so he's in Houston. We will say this.
What if?
Right? He did play at an MVP level for damn near 90% of his tenure in Houston. I will give him credit for that. Had crazy scoring years, crazy performances. Almost beat Golden State on the route to win a championship. Just had a terrible Game 7 where no one could shoot on the damn team. While with the Rockets, though, asked for Chris Paul. Darryl Morey gets him Chris Paul. After a 2018 playoff run where they lost to Golden State, he claimed he did not want to play with CP3 anymore. CP3 is traded. He asked for Russell Westbrook. Now, this is for the source, Tim McMahon, or however you pronounce that man's last name, but a credible source. Harden said if the deal was not done to get Russ, he was going to ask for a trade. That was reported by Tim. Now, Russ, they do end up getting Russ after one season of playing together. They both don't want to play with each other anymore. Russ is gone. Darryl Morey ends up stepping down from his position on October 15th, 2020. By November of that year, Harden had his sights set on forcing his way out and going to the Brooklyn Nets. Right. He misses the beginning of training camp going into the next season after the whole Russell Westbrook situation did not work. He missed the beginning of training camp to instead hang out with Little Baby. Seems like the only man that James Harden has any respect for. Violates the league and these are all facts. I'm not saying nothing in my opinion. You can search this up on ESPN. Violates the league health and safety protocols. This is during the COVID era by attending a private event, indoor party, which the team then fines him $50,000 by the NBA. Does end up playing some games for the Houston Rockets that season. That's when they had John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins. They tried that little experiment that never really
Christian Woods.
Right, yeah. that turned into absolutely nothing. Right? But ultimately we all know he gets moved to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
We get the biggest what if to me in NBA history. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden, 3 of the most prolific scorers that we've ever seen in the game at their respective positions. We know when the trade went down. I remember us being in the group chat, everyone throwing it in there. They're about to win the championship. They're gonna be in the elite big 3. There was a lot of high hopes, but due to injuries, Harden was only able to play 36 games that season before returning for the final 3 games versus Milwaukee, which they did end up losing. Now, let me say this, though. I think if that team was healthy, if Kyrie does not go down, Harden doesn't have the hamstring problem, I think everyone thought they would beat the Milwaukee Bucks, right? That doesn't happen, though. So that summer, Jalen's good friend, GM Sean Marks, said his plan was to give extensions to Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving, this was a big debate that me and you had on camera, off camera. Kyrie Irving decides to not get vaccinated. So that pipe dream ends up not happening of them getting this long extension and continuing the run. The big 3 only played 16 games together total in about a 2-year span. I think that's kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Even if we look at the big three back in the day with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, it was more than 16. That would have been crazy. Even with the Boston Celtics, when he had the quote-unquote big four, played more than 16 games. Even when Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, and Kobe, and whoever else on that damn team, more than 16 games. So that was just a big disaster. Just 13 months after requesting a trade from the Rockets, Harden seeked another trade. On the February 22 deadline was approaching. Per Woj, it was requested that Harden wanted to, keep this behind the scenes due to the fact of the backlash that he would receive. Seeing that he, requested a trade from Houston already, for him to request a trade from Brooklyn would look kind of crazy just to us fans, the media, what they would do with that story. He went behind the scenes. Harden missed his final 4 games with the Brooklyn Nets leading up to the deadline that year because of a hamstring injury. Before ultimately, ending up with the Sixers, we all know the Sixers traded Ben Simmons. They did that swap. And that was on February 10th, 2022. Lastly, I will give him credit for this. Harden last year does take a pay cut to enhance the roster. They get some more pieces. And I believe right there is when Harden and Darryl Morey, behind closed doors, I believe they had the agreement that if you do that, next season you will get paid. I believe that's what the story was behind him. We don't know. Only Harden and Morey know. But I think that's what the agreement was when he took that quote-unquote pay cut.
It has to be the only reason.
And ends up just not getting it. He was in China calling Darryl Morey a liar and all that. And we're at today's date. So Seb, I'll just start with you. What are we going to do with James Harden in this Philadelphia 76ers situation?
There's nothing much you could really do if you're James Harden, but just sit back and play the long game. I do believe that Darryl Morey has the upper hand right now because he decides whether or not he wants to trade James Harden. And I don't think he's going to trade James Harden for no regular piece. He needs some type of value back in return because he's not gonna do the same mistakes that they did with the Ben Simmons thing where they just straight up traded James Harden for Ben Simmons and Seth Curry. He's gonna want a little bit more in return. But for James Harden, he's gonna have to play these games to still show some type of value. We know what James Harden is capable of. We've seen what he did these past 2 seasons. Fell short within the playoffs, but even in the playoffs, he had 2 good games in that Boston series. But for him to even try to get his way out of Philadelphia, it's gonna have to be by just playing the game and just but playing the long run game with Darryl Morey, because right now Darryl Morey has all the advantage right now. James Harden really has no say, and he really wants to go to the Clippers. There's been numerous reports in trying to get a deal done to get Terrence Mann or things of that sort, but we don't really know what's the holdup. Yeah, we don't know what's the holdup, but I definitely seen him cooperating more. Showing up to training camp is a big, a big light for what's going on within the situation right now. So if that could work out, then that's the only way that James Harden finds his way out of Philadelphia. But I don't know.
But I'm gonna get to you in 1 second, Jay. Let me just ask you, Jay. Seb, you're saying he reported to training camp. What do you say to the people who are saying he only came to not get fined though?
I say he's playing it safe and smart. You gotta I feel like he's learning from the Ben Simmons situation, because it could end up like that, but it wouldn't look good on James Harden end, especially if you're trying to force your way to a certain team. It's not like he wants to get traded there, like how it worked when he got to Philly. How he wanted to go to Philly. So they said, we have somebody that don't want to play in Ben Simmons in our organization. We're going to trade him away and get somebody that wants to play. James Harden now wants to leave. So I feel like if he wants to leave, he has to cooperate with what's going on, and just play the long game. Because if he sits out, it does not look good for him. His trade value is going to go down. Plus, when you're not playing, you're not in game shape. You're not in high peak performance. So he got to manage to stay in shape in time. So if he does manage to get to the Clippers, then we could see them play at a high level with James Harden. But if James Harden sits out in that situation, I feel like he's just going to get a little bit rusty. We know he's not going to get fully rusty, but game performance wise.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. Jalen, the floor is yours. I know you had a lot of different opinions about James Harden. How do you feel?
Yeah, I definitely agree to the points with Sav. I definitely feel like he has to play it out, especially to the fact that they fired Doc Rivers and hired Nick Nurse, a championship coach, in order to propel the team to be a championship team. This is a team that hasn't made the conference finals, and I definitely feel like this is their objective to even get to the finals. I really feel like That's the biggest thing for them as well. So I do commend James Harden just reporting to training camp, because at the end of the day, he goes on his record as a professional. He doesn't want to have that same rep that he had in Houston, just holding out in training camp or coming in out of shape. You feel me? At his age, being 34 and everything, he has to hold himself to a standard. And also, he also is a veteran on the team, a mentor to Tyrese Maxey and all those guys. So even if he does feel otherwise, he definitely has to, just protect his image, especially at this time. As far as like the extension and everything and the Darryl Morey and James Harden thing, I feel like it's a two-sided coin only because I feel like if Darryl Morey didn't give James Harden the extension, now you have a superstar on a expiring contract. But then in that same turn, you want all this value. But if I'm gonna get James Harden, just gonna be on a 1 year, like only for half a season. So I just don't understand how, if he valued James Harden that much, why didn't he give him the extension? And if you didn't want to give him the extension, why you can't be mad at him expecting to leave out? Because essentially you saying like, we don't want you for a longer term. So I kind of understand both sides to why both sides were upset, but it's it's definitely a confusing deal.
Okay, so I respect what both of y'all say. I think y'all are being a little nice to James Harden right now. But let me just address the last thing you just said. I understand what you're saying. It doesn't make sense now that you didn't give him the extension and you are quote unquote maybe surprised that he wants out. I think what happened was when they had that conversation last year when he took the pay cut to build out that roster, I think Darryl Morey is expecting him to have a good playoff run. They're going to make the playoffs, barring injury. As the president of basketball operations, like, let's just put this out on the forefront. Philadelphia is a tough town.
Yeah.
To live in, play in. The expectations there are very, very high for their sports teams. Especially just, shout out to the Eagles going to the, Super Bowl last year. Mm-hmm. And they know the talent on this NBA roster with this Sixers team with the MVP last year, Embiid. They were expecting a lot from this team last season. James Harden had 2 good games. I'm not going to take that away from him. It just wasn't enough, though. Mm-hmm. For the deal he wants, that wasn't enough. And I don't think the city was going to let Darryl Morey get away with that. You can't pay him no 4-year deal after the performance he had, especially in Game 7, where it looked like he quit. If we're just going to call a spade, there's no way you can get that deal. So my thing was, and that's just the Darryl Morey part. Now, if he told that man, I'm going to give you this, and lied straight to his face, we're all grown men here.
I think that's where that came from.
Yeah.
Right. We wouldn't like if, all of us work jobs. If our boss told us something that was going to happen and does the complete opposite, we're going to want answers. And if the answers we're getting is bullshit, we're gonna call him a liar.
That's literally what it probably came down to. Because James Harden and Darryl Morey has always had a tight relationship. No matter where James Harden was, Darryl Morey was always looked out for James Harden. That's one thing that we could always agree on. So the fact that he didn't fall through on his word, he didn't stand on the business of saying that we're gonna stand the contract like that. I feel like James Harden really took that personally, though.
Yeah, but even into that same point, I just don't understand too. Like, why would he opt in before even having that conversation?
Because it seemed they had that history.
Yeah, it seemed like he opted in and then asked for a trade. Why he didn't just have trade talks and then opt in, have a clear-cut decision on what he's opting into? Because he opted in and then I want to trade, but that's not on the same page with Darryl Morey.
I think he opted in because they had an agreement.
Yeah, but
that he would know. I think 2 separate conversations. You're talking about originally when I'm talking about last year when he did the pay cut thing. That was one conversation. I think he opted in, talked to Darryl Morey, and said, "If I opt in, will you trade me?" And I think he said yes. Yeah. So I think I think he really went on that lying ring. I think he got lied to twice. I think he got lied to about getting that initial bag this summer. Mm-hmm. And then once he seen that wasn't going to happen, opted. And I think he got lied to maybe again and said that we will trade you, and it just hasn't happened. Yeah. Here's the problem, though, what Seth brought up earlier. You want value back. Yeah. And I don't know what value you're going to get when the last time we seen you as a player, you look suspect. And then you're doing all these childish things in the offseason. That turns off a lot of teams. A lot of these owners, I don't want to bring race into it or just grumpy white men. I don't think what Harden's doing appeals to them. So it's like, why do we want you on this team? Because we're still talking about James Harden, right? We know what he's done for his career. So you would think just seeing his name, damn near 29, 28 teams will be on the phone calling for him. I'm only hearing the Clippers.
Yeah. That's the only destination that's been requested.
And I think that's the only one that he wants personally, too.
Yeah.
I don't think that we seen what happened with Dame. He went to Miami. No, that deal don't make sense. No, you go to Milwaukee though. There's other teams out there. Why to the Knicks?
Yeah, but
the Knicks. Yeah, but we like the Knicks pulled back from James Harden talk because they realistically came to the decision that it would be a 1-year rental.
Yeah,
James Harden realistically wouldn't want to stay in New York. His destination would want to be the Clippers. That's all like we've been hearing about throughout this whole offseason.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense to trade for somebody that wants to stay, that wants to be a Clipper, and you have a 1-year rental and things don't work out. Then you're stuck. Like we traded away our assets for somebody that don't want to be there.
Yeah, and even if you take the name James Harden away from it, it's a 34-year-old veteran on an expiring deal. So it's like, what value anywhere, like depending on anybody, would you have in an expiring deal for a superstar? Like that doesn't hold value. Dame has value because he's a young, like a 30-year-old in his prime. You feel me? With about like 2 more years. So it's like if you have a veteran on an expiring deal, you usually give them picks because you feel me? Like you really don't need them. So that's what I'm saying. Like. That's what it's just confusing at because it's just like I don't understand it.
So let me ask, as just a basketball community, as fans, like when do we hold James Harden accountable? It feels like I don't know what he's playing for anymore. I'm a James Harden fan. I love watching his game. I think just as a person, I don't know him, but he seems like a great dude, funny, like all that, like. But it's like, what are you playing for? It can't just be money then, because you're about to get $30 million this year. Now, you're used to, I guess, bigger deals and all that. That's still a lot of money. So is this just solely about money? Because I'm not understanding. It's like every time things don't go his way, he wants to trade. That's not how the NBA works. You have to go with the grind.
Nah, that's how it works nowadays. That's really how it works nowadays.
Yeah, if you don't...
You really notice that how everybody could just get traded like that. That's literally
not
the new
as
NBA.
Much as Harden, though, bro. I know what you're saying, Seb. I get all that. But that's not what I'm saying. He has the most trade requests since 2010, bro. You showed me that. He's taking it to another level, though. Yeah, but this is too much.
It's only been two trades.
Yeah, but
you quit on Houston.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Brooklyn, and now you're about to quit on this team. That's
when I was watching some shit with KG and Paul Pierce, and they talk about how you don't have that much wiggle room. Shout out to them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, how you don't really have. This is really his last stint though.
Yeah,
because he really has no more. Because the Brooklyn to Philly, that one was really the throw off.
I'm not putting I want to talk about that right there. I don't put that too much on Harden. I think him and Kyrie had a bit of friction with the whole vaccine, what they had planned. I think he didn't want to deal with it. He did play though mostly well. I don't put that too much, but still at the end of the day, you quit on them. Point blank, whatever reason you did it though for, you still quit on them. So that's Houston you quit on. You quit on Brooklyn, and now it's in the public. You want to quit on this team, bro. So where do you want to? And then the Clippers thing is gonna come. You're not gonna be. At best, you're going to be the number 3 option. So now you're not the number 2 option. So do you strictly just want to be a point guard and just pass the ball around? Because Kawhi and PG
know how that plays out either,
is going to... Then you have Russ there.
I don't
so
know.
wasn't Russ your starting point guard?
I don't know how that plays out.
Now you have Terrence Mann. You're going to stunt his growth again? And so I'm confused.
But that they said when I read a report, it said that's the focal point of the trade is to get Terrence Mann.
And for the 76ers, you're gonna do all this to get Terrence Mann. No disrespect to Terrence Mann, he's an okay player, but that's worth the value of Harden. I'm just saying as a basketball player, like strictly player for player, that adds up.
I'm just saying it in the sense it's just like. Again, it's a 34-year-old and expiring deal. So that's probably the best 20 person in that age range that someone else is going to be willing to let go. If you think like Terrence Mann's about 27, that's around the same age bracket as the Mikal Bridges, the Cam Johnsons, like everybody else in like the Karl Anthony Towns area. You're not going to get anybody of that level. You feel me? And basically kind of just for James Harden. No, like the Timberwolves are not going to trade James Harden for 1 year or half a season, so it doesn't make sense. So I think that's why they want Terrence Mann.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. But realistically speaking, as soon as James Harden requested that trade, don't you think a lot of teams would have been lining up? We would have seen like some of the a solid deals going set in stone. There's really nobody calling for the phone throughout this whole offseason besides the Clippers, though. So that says something to who James Harden is right now, and it's the value that he has. He doesn't have that much value.
And that's the thing with Darryl Morey too. Is just like, all right, you did all of that. Like we all seen that you didn't want to give him an extension, and then now you kind of having friction with him, like in this trade request. Like we know that you don't want him, so it's like we're not in a rush to get him because we know like you have to go through this the whole time. So no one's gonna be pressing about nothing. That's why the Clippers don't change their off. They like, bro, we know like what you're going through. You're not gonna do anything.
Something that's gonna bound to happen eventually.
Exactly. So it's like.
But another thing I wanted to ask you guys. We said it based on James Harden wise, but when we talk about just this whole situation that's going on in Philly, how come we not holding just the management accountable? Because now this is the second time that you had a superstar that wanted to be traded out of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like when we're talking about it, it's just like as much as we want to put the blame on James Harden and how it looks bad on his end due to the fact he's asked for numerous trades, we got to put some type of blame on Philly and just what they got going on over there. They fall short in damn near every year. Mm-hmm. And now you have your second time. First it was Ben Simmons. Everybody thought, oh, Ben Simmons just quit on Philly. And now it's just James Harden. So it has to be something going on to where these guards are just like, you know.
No. All right, hold on. I just think, really, just my opinion, they just had bad luck. I don't think it's just Philly. Now, Daryl Morey, whatever conversations he's having with what he had with Harden, any player, he needs to be honest to make, because you got to keep your players happy. So I understand that point. But all the team can really do is put the team out there on the floor. We can't act like they've been putting together bad rosters. Their star players have not produced in the biggest moments. Mm-hmm. Daryl Morey's not playing. He can only put together the roster. I like the roster. If James Harden wants to play, I like the pieces that they picked up. Kelly Oubre Jr., Patrick Beverly. Like, I like the pieces. Y'all have to produce when it matters. Every time when they need Embiid and Harden to produce, they fall short. That's not on Daryl Morey. How's that Daryl Morey's fault?
And then there's other people too. We act like it's just a James Harden and B. Like no one else does anything.
No, I understand. Like, we know about Tobias Harris and all that, but we're talking about the two.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing too. He's not willing to trade Tobias Harris either. But it's like, what have you been getting from Tobias Harris that you love so much that you don't want to let go?
Isn't his deal expiring too?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand what is like does they?
At least he wants to suit up though.
But
I gotta give credit to the person who comes to work every day and say, all right, let me clap. I gotta do what I gotta do.
But
I'd rather have that 365 days a year than what James Harden's doing.
But even then, Tobias Harris is not even happy in his role too. So why not look to move him other places? I see reports in the offseason, his pops is speaking out for him, saying that you're not utilizing my son correctly.
Yeah,
that's fine. And I'm not saying you're wrong, because Tobias Harris in the playoffs, I think, doesn't play really up to his potential. But
what potential? We have not seen nothing. Like, I'm sorry to say this.
I don't know either. No, Seb Stocker, when he was on the Clippers, almost averaging 20. We seen what he could do though, bro.
How long is that though? We're in the league where it's what have you done for me lately though? So that's what I'm saying. There's other pieces in Philly too that we have to hold accountable to as well. He's a major part of that too, because y'all remember, bro, they could have Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
And they say all the time. Everybody says it all the time. Mm-hmm. So like what I'm getting at here is just like other pieces have to be held accountable too. We can't just always put it on James Harden and Embiid. Those are your star players, but
and then maybe it might sound crazy, but maybe Joel Embiid can't be your best player.
He just won the MVP. I don't know.
What are you? All right.
What I'm saying though,
we start saying crazy shit.
I'm saying though,
what about to do with the team? What team is that? I'm confused.
This whole time, it's been nothing but second round, first round exits, and he's been getting better and better, and it's the same result. So at a point in time, you have to have a conversation. That conversation.
You're a number one player can only tell you need some type of help. And when I feel like these last couple seasons, you had Ben Simmons, James Harden, who've kind of just wet the bed in big moments too. You need that secondary star too. It can't just all be on Embiid. Now I think with Embiid also, for some reason, he gets hurt in the playoffs every single year. I don't know what that's about. You got to condition your body better. But his star running mates have both quit on him. You feel what I'm talking about? So it's like I'm not too sure. Let me just say this though. I kind of just feel bad for the Sixers though, because I feel like you have Ben Simmons. That whole thing happens where he ends up quitting on you. Now you really got the same thing. So to me, it's like you was fucking with this one chick who cheated on you. You get rid of her. You got a new girl, and she's the same chick. It's the exact same girl.
Yeah,
one was light skinned and one was dark skinned.
Yeah.
But it's the same girl.
Yo, what the fuck?
When you need her the most, she's out here fucking somebody else.
Fuck.
So I feel bad for the Sixers kind of though, because you've gotten bad luck with your star guards besides Tyrese Maxey. Like, so I don't know. I'm not too sure. So to end the segment though, Jalen, what happens with Harden though this season? Is he traded? Does he play season with Sixers? What happens?
Trade deadline, I think he'll be out of the Sixers.
Where? If you just had to right now, if you had to say a team, where? Just give me one.
I can't even guess the team, to be honest. I don't feel like it'll be the Clippers though.
A contending team though.
Yeah.
Okay. Seb, what happens with Harden if he gets traded? Where does he go?
Harden plays majority of these games until most likely the deadline. Maybe even get might move before the deadline. You might have some friction going on within the locker room and stuff like that. So he'll be a Clipper soon enough.
I'm gonna just throw a curveball. Harden is moved before Christmas. He's in South Beach.
He's in Miami.
He's in Miami, like, and I think that is the best situation for him because they ain't going for his bullshit. Like all this during Game 3, can I go to Vegas to the club? No, it's just no. If you get on that plane, don't come back.
You think they would trade somebody from the Heat for James?
The best they could offer is the package they've been offering for like 3 years.
And if you're
Tyler Hero,
if you're going for why not? Roll the dice.
Tyler Hero and Duncan, yo, that's the only thing Miami has, bro. They don't have shit.
Well, yeah, they can't give away Butler and Adebayo. You can't.
But I'm saying though, like, what could they possibly give? What else besides that to get Clippers will most
picks and their young players. They
will
got
most
that
likely
kid they drafted. What's his name? The kid they drafted this year.
Yeah, Jaime.
The Jaime kid. You got picks and then you got Tyler Hero. But still, they've
been saying that for Portland though. Portland didn't even want Tyler Hero. So what makes you think that Philly gonna want Tyler Hero?
I think Philly takes that deal way quicker than Portland takes that deal. Portland, Dame was their whole city. That was everything. Mm-hmm. They really want to get rid of Harden. They offer Tyler Hero. They're not taking that? You crazy?
I think
they're not taking for James Harden?
Oh, for James Harden? Oh, I'm saying like the Heat.
He's I
don't think the Heat.
I don't know, because that's a trade package that they've been offering now for how long now for all these players, and they still have not gotten nobody. They've been trying to get rid of Tyler Hero for that long. Yeah. Why doesn't nobody want him?
I mean, we can say
Tyler Hero's a solid player too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on him or nothing like that. It's just every time there's a trade that comes up or a potential trade, they always talking about throwing Tyler Hero's name, and no team wants to take him.
That's their best young player.
Yeah.
Sad story.
Tyler Hero said, "If y'all don't want me, then I'm good with that." You see how he's been talking like.
No, yeah, I expect the biggest season.
Most improved player. I
thought he was a 6th man of the year.
Yeah, six man of the year. He's a good player.
Nah, yeah,
he's a 20-point per game scorer. Like,
yeah.
Well, I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know why teams are not taking it though. If I'm the Blazers,
we don't know how many teams they're offering that. We know with the Dame thing that just wasn't enough. Also because they have 16 guards over there. Why are you bringing Tyler Hero for? Mm-hmm. That literally makes no sense. Like,
we'll see.
It just doesn't. But that's gonna do it for this episode. Because we were gonna get into the off-season stuff, but we can't. The time is up. James Harden took all of our time. He's taking the Sixers' money. He's with little baby right now. I don't know what's gonna happen with James Harden. I think they gotta fire Nick Nurse and hire little baby.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say
that's the only way he's gonna play serious.
Nah.
All right, let me ask you: if little baby was the coach, he's not gonna be an all-star this year, James Harden?
No.
You don't think James Harden was playing?
He don't know nothing about basketball. He respects him.
But I'm saying you don't think James Harden was playing like all-star last season? Like he led the league in assists, like 20, 22 a game.
He did. I never.
The only question mark we got is just about this
the playoffs. That's about it.
No, he's still an all-star caliber player. Mm-hmm. But when it matters most, he plays like me. Like, and that's not a good thing, bro. Like, it's just not.
Yeah.
But that's gonna do it for this episode of It's Debatable NBA edition. We will be back next week with some more, predictions going into the upcoming season and things of that nature. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at It's Debatable _ on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It's Debatable. That's it.
All right. That concludes this episode. Yep. Make sure, like, comment, and subscribe.
Segment, we're doing the best and worst teams this offseason based off signings, who they lost, extensions, all things like that. Jalen, give me your best team.
So I'm gonna say this offseason, I definitely feel like the Rockets definitely one of the best teams. You signed Fred VanVleet to a great deal. You signed, another role player in Dylan Brooks, and then you drafted Cam Whitmore, Summer League MVP. You have Jabari Smith over there in that same Summer League, performing well. You have Jalen Green working out with Fred VanVleet in the offseason. You hired Emi Udoka. You also brung in Jeff Green fresh off the championship run. I definitely feel like they put a lot of things in place for them to be successful and to create a culture there in Houston. I just gonna keep a close eye on them. They also have Amen Thompson, that they drafted too. So it's definitely a good sign to look at. And I definitely feel like they are one of the biggest winners in the offseason period.
Seb, give me your team of the offseason.
My team of the offseason is the Los Angeles Lakers. More so, I like just the moves that they did throughout the whole offseason. I'll start with the re-signing of Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, guys that really showed out for you in the playoffs, as well as re-signing Anthony Davis, still locking in that LeBron and AD duo for some more time, for however long LeBron can play in LA. And the new pieces as well, too. You got a huge signing, somebody that just came off the finals, and Gabe Vincent, somebody that gives you that floor spacing, as well as a little bit of time at the point guard role. Then you got guys like Taurean Prince, who I believe will be like a 3-and-D presence for them as well. Somebody that could really play, that has like a lengthy defense. Who else that they signed?
Cam Reddish
as well. I still got to see. I'm not too sure. I'm not sold on Cam Reddish still, because I just seen this is like his third set. He doesn't have that consistency to me. But just Christian Woods as well, picking him up from Dallas.
Gabe Vincent.
Christian Woods especially, too. He could play that backup big role, or maybe even start alongside AD. So now you have a tall defensive lineup out there for your starting position, or maybe somebody that gives you a spark off the bench, as well as Jackson Hayes, somebody that didn't really have that much time shown in the Pelicans to really show what he's about. I do feel like somebody that's a serious lob threat to his nature, can play well with LeBron, a very high active player, energetic on defense and offense. I definitely do like it. And I didn't even mention D'Angelo Russell as well. My bad. I like the way that they re-signed him to keep him locked in, because he did give us some solid moments in the playoffs as well. I know he fell short of it with the Denver series. But other than that, I definitely do like what he brought to LA in his second stint. But I would have to be the Los Angeles Lakers for me, for the most part.
All right, so you took the team I was going to say. I feel like just this team reaching the Western Conference Finals, just from where they started from, was just an amazing achievement in itself. They were one of the last 4 teams, ended up losing to the Nuggets, and I just think they just revamped the team. They still try to keep the team young. I do not like that they lost Dennis Schroeder. I think that was someone that was huge for them, especially in that Golden State series, antagonizing Draymond and running around trying to guard Steph Curry and things of that nature. And Lonnie Walker, he was a young player that came from, your team, the Spurs. He saved us in one of those games. I think it was like game 2 or something like that, to where in the fourth quarter, end of the third, fourth quarter, he couldn't miss. So I think those are just 2 players that I'm going to miss. But just like Seb said, signing Gabe Vincent, Christian Wood, Taurean Prince, I think those are players that prove the roles that they can do in this league. And I think, just having LeBron as your leader, he's going to put you in even better positions to succeed. So that's also my team of the offseason. Now we're going to do the worst team of the offseason, who really didn't do shit. And I'll just start it off. We talked about the Miami Heat earlier. That's the team I'm going with. I feel, and I was very worried about them, because I always said to myself, if they don't get Dame, you wasted your offseason, because that's what they was waiting for. They didn't really make any moves. Yes, they signed Thomas Bryant. He's an okay player. Josh Richardson, former Heat player, 3-and-D. I'm not mad at that. RJ Hampton, he's not really going to be there when it matters. So shout out to him. But I feel you lost some key pieces that really helped in that run. The names might not sound huge, but Gabe Vincent, who's now on the Lakers we just talked about.
Right.
He was that starting point guard that was huge for them in all the rounds. Max Strus, shooter, sniper. You don't have him anymore. You let him go to Cleveland. And then you lost Victor Oladipo, who for some reason gets hurt every single season now. But when he did play, he was effective. He still could play the game of basketball.
Also, Cody Zeller too. They lost him to the Pelicans. That's not even not even a name that you'd even think of, but it's like still.
I think they did that on purpose. And they
he gave some valuable time.
But he can't guard anybody.
Nah, yeah, I seen him get
And he's going bald. But shout out to Cody Zeller though.
Yeah.
And they re-signed Kevin Love, but he's getting older in age, so that's just so the Heat and Eric Spoelstra. Hold on, don't say your team got better because no, it didn't. When you say things like that, it makes me think you're doing drugs, and I like you as a coach, but don't say things like that to the media because your team did not get better. So you're gonna have to do some more coaching this year because your team ain't better. Like, go ahead, Seb. The worst team of the offseason.
Worst team of the offseason to me is the Chicago Bulls. You still don't address your point guard role. I feel like you lost maybe somebody that didn't seem effective, but was very effective towards the end of the season. And Pat Beverly's a hometown hero player. I definitely like what he brought towards the end of the season and got the Bulls back to being like rejuvenated. I just don't like the pieces that they just acquired. I think they acquired Torrey Craig, Javon Carter, those guys, yeah, they're good players, like good role players, solid.
They're good players?
Not good players. They're like solid role players.
They're like solid role players?
Solid role players. Torrey Craig is a solid role player.
Yeah. Like
I seen Torrey Craig hoop in that Phoenix series.
You feel me?
I'll give credit.
He's been on this shirt on straight contending teams.
Yeah, you got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Maybe Javon. Pause.
I don't want to.
Shout out Kevin Meese. Pause.
Yeah,
Javon Carter as well.
Who?
Javon Carter from the Nets to the fucking Bucks. Yeah, just like head scratchers. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, they're straight head scratchers. You don't address your point guard issue. You don't make like at least solid role players around you better. I don't even think you have a backup big if you're still rolling with Ayo Dosunmu.
They got Drummond.
They got. The fuck is Drummond doing?
But that's their backup. But yeah,
Drummond's damn near out the league, man.
Yeah, and don't let me get started on Ayo.
No, Drummond's a great rebounder though.
Great rebounder, but that's literally what else?
Didn't y'all say last week Drew Eubanks grabs rebounds and y'all was big on him? He grabbing these rebounds and shit. You said that, Seb.
Okay, but we're talking about Andre Drummond now.
Oh, now
if I'm talking,
never mind.
Well, all right, we're talking about Andre. You want to talk about Andre Drummond?
No, I'm just saying, like,
they're two different.
He was big on rebounding and he could play 5 minutes a game and not be a headache.
10 minutes a game and actually can switch, bro. What is Andre Drummond doing out there?
Rebounding. What? He can't do that. He was never a scorer. Isn't his best thing was rebounding?
What? Listen, bro. They
don't
give him.
Don't move the goalpost, Seb. That's all I'm saying.
I ain't moving the goalpost, but I'm just saying, bro. Andre Drummond is not having no Chicago Bulls team, and we've seen him on contending teams. He does not help no team. Andre Drummond role is diminished in the NBA. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. I think he can still be effective on an NBA basketball. That's just me. You're talking about Drew Eubanks.
Hey, you gonna stop hating on my boy Drew?
No.
Yo, my boy Drew Eubanks. You heard it here first. My son
it's
Drew
nothing
Eubanks.
against Drew Eubanks. It's just never mind. Oh god.
But yeah, for me, just the Chicago Bulls. They don't know what the fuck they doing. Billy Donovan might end up getting fired for no reason for just having this shitty team.
Lonzo Ball said he's coming back.
Yeah, by the time we're 30.
Oh wow!
What the fuck,
Lonzo? I fuck with you. I don't know. He's on.
I fuck with Lonzo, but you gonna have us wait for how long, bro?
If Ball ever sees this, he's gonna fry you, bro.
All right, let him fry me, bro.
Big Baller Brand.
Yeah,
I fuck with Big Baller Brand too. I fuck with Big Baller Brand too. Don't get it confused, bro. But Lonzo just been out for a minute, and then like what? We're gonna have to get an adjusted time period. It's not like he's gonna come out doing what he already did. Nigga gonna have to get a whole new setup. How you want to play again? He's gonna have to get some adjustment. You took basically 3 years off. You know how long is 3 years off from rehabbing from injury? You're not the same, bro. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I respect your pick though, because they do have some things they still have to address though. But if you ask DeMar DeRozan, he'll think you're crazy. Jalen, end the show. The worst team of the offseason.
Worst team definitely has to be the Atlanta Hawks. I definitely feel like they're not even in. There's no this would be a good signing for the Hawks. They're not even in any trade talks or anything. I really feel like they don't try to make any moves as far as the roster goes. The only addition that they really did from like last season is they had like Quinn Snyder now for a whole season in training camp. But besides that, it's essentially the same team. And this is a team that made the finals, the conference finals like in the past. But ever since then, been first round exits. And I don't really feel like they're making any moves or any decisions to make them better as a team. I really feel like it's the same old thing over and over.
Let me ask you though, cause I really don't remember. They traded though John Collins. What did they get?
Rudy Gay, and then Rudy Gay, they dropped him.
So they traded him for nothing?
They got him. Well, Patty Mills is on the team.
The fuck is Patty Mills do?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel
they got another short boy. What the fuck is going on in Atlanta?
I just don't understand.
Who's running this shit? Dominique Wilkins? Who's running this shit?
Nate Robinson.
Nah, you really gave away John Collins for nothing too. And I like John Collins as a piece. I feel like he fit real good with Trae Young. I don't know what the fuck could have happened for
There
them.
was some rumors though that they were trying to get Pascal Siakam though. I did read the reports.
Yeah, but
is that the move they have to make to actually get to where they're trying
they
to
just
go?
have to make a move. Like,
but who do they give up though?
Exactly. They just gave away John Collins for nothing. Which is why I don't
Bogdanovich, Capella,
Capello.
They don't got nobody over there.
Capello.
I mean DeAndre Hunter, but
DeAndre Hunter is only available to play 30 games a season.
Shit.
His body breaks down.
Your pick might be better than mine though, because I'm really thinking about it. I think they got worse.
They have nothing, bro.
I mean, I guess they're banking on DeJounte Murray, Trae Young. Can y'all do something?
Yeah, but it's just been first round exits every year, bro. And playing, they've been fighting it for playing. I think this is a team that shouldn't be fighting it for. At this point,
they need a wing though. They don't have that versatile wing, and it was supposed to be DeAndre Hunter, but his body doesn't hold up. And his 3-point shooting is suspect. Yeah. I think that's what they're missing. I feel they have other things. They got a lob threat and a rebounder in Clint Capella. You're two guards that can shoot the three and defend with DeJounte Murray. You're missing that versatile wing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. Like, this is a team that's going to be looking to be fighting for the play-in again. I don't really feel like they're doing anything, so.
Yeah, we see that.
There's no excuse why they shouldn't be like.
There was literally an average. It was a 50-50 team. There was literally an average team.
Like,
no. I remember last season they would win a game, lose a game. It was 500 basically. Yeah. No, I remember that. But let's see if Quinn Snyder can get them on. Remember they did start last season with a different coach.
Right.
So let's give Quinn Snyder the benefit of the doubt, and let's see if maybe Trae Young and DeJounte Murray flourish under him. But that's gonna be it officially now for this episode. Be on the lookout for these YouTube drops. Clips will be dropping on social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure to follow us at It's Debatable _. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You made it this far into the video. Tell a friend that it's debatable. And we out.
All right.
Yeah.